some short reminders before beginning the presentations. As you can see, the webinar is recorded, so please be so kind to mute your microphone and close your camera. You can ask us any question during the session, the presentation session, by using the chat. Also, if you need any assistance, we will be happy to help you. Just give us a line in the chat. And also, since you are recording the webinar, in case not to have your name displayed without wanting us to do so, please use the rename function to change your name. And for dissemination and documenting reasons of the event, we would like for you to answer a very short survey for us. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time and for your interest in our GOLD project. I will, the brief agenda of the project would be a short overview of the GOLD project, and then each project partner will present one or more best practices implemented by the organizations. So it will be very interesting, full of very exciting ideas for you to implement or to take part. It depends on which part of target group you belong. So I think that we can begin now. Please mute your microphone, please. Thank you. So I am Konstantina Iakovu. I'm project manager in Chaledu, the organization coordinating this Erasmus project, and I will present you in short what were the targets of this project and what has been achieved. So, as I said before, GOLD project is an exchange of good practices Erasmus Plus project, meaning that it mainly consists of training events and meetings of the partners in order to train the staff organization in practices implemented in each of our organizations, and also some research to get more ideas about future practices we would like to implement. Sorry, I will share my in full screen mode. So some very few information about the project. The project is going to end in 1 month approximately. We have been the whole partnership together for 13 months. We, as I said before, Chaledu, based in Greece, we are coordinating the project. From Greece, we have our partners Reading for Others and Frodizo. We have on board also seniors from France, Association Generation from Bulgaria, and University of Münster from Germany. What are the target groups of the project? Mainly, our main target group are people aged over 65 years old, and also some caregivers related to them, either professionally or unofficially. For professional caregivers, we mean health professionals, doctors, social workers, psychologists, and educators, nurses, and people belonging in this broad category. We also target caregivers of old age people, informal ones, and nursing home or other care organizations related to our main target group. The aim of the project are multiple. We would like, in general, old age people to be an active part of our society by not being socially excluded for any form of social activity. With the best practices that you will see today, we aim to maintain and improve their skills, either mental, physical, and social skills. And since all people have the tendency to need to offer, we would like them to satisfy this need by providing and including them intergenerational activities, passing their lifelong wisdom to younger generations. I think this, what we did actually, what we aimed to do with this project was to exchange internally best practices on several topics: social inclusion, lifelong learning, physical and mental health, and social inclusion. By including, to the extent that we could due to COVID-19, we tried to include also this target group in our activities. We also did some survey by exploring and disseminating other best practices from other by organizations in our countries in the results that you will see in a moment, and to expand the skills from our staff or trainers or other related staff, but also we aim by this webinar and from now on that we will disseminate the result project to train and to get many other future possibilities to do so, other professionals. We would like to strengthen the generational education, either traditional, let's say, or digital. And for sure, by including old age people, we would like to destigmatize this target group. We have created for, let's say, tangible results, a mapping of the status and the need of all people in partner countries. We also did a desk research and created a collection of good practices on several topics in our partner countries. And we also created a guide, let's say, a collection of our best practices, the best practices that inspired us to create this gold project. And short videos describing also these best practices of our organization. You can find the results on our project website. So I already referred the mapping, the desk research on the situation and needs of all the people. We have conducted the research in each partner country, so we'll see an example of our guide for Bulgaria. We did the research on life expectancy, several health or health issues or financial issues that they might confront. Our main target group had unfortunately coded tech, and what is the policy on social care in each partner country. We move on to the second guide on the good practices implemented in organization other than ours. You will see now the guide, and as you can see, there is a great variety of topics and the initiatives that were addressed, either practices emphasizing on social inclusion or health maintenance, or cultural education or education in general, on empowering old age people, on retaining their health, and reduce the poverty or the stigma of old age people, and why not to empower them if they would like to be active in the labor market to do so. Our last project would be our gold practices. Please mute your phone, your microphone. Thank you. This is a guide in all partner languages in best practices, as I said before, that we implement these organizations. A detailed description of these practices, some links, some guides that everyone could use to implement these practices in their own premises. And you can find us on YouTube. We have uploaded short videos with short descriptions of these best practices in each partner language. So these are already for you to view. You can find them on our YouTube channel. And what else we have done? As I said before, it was an exchange of good practices project. So we had to meet, of course, to train our staff and also to work on the next steps and to produce all the results that I have mentioned before. We have done two trainings, one in Paris, one in Athens. In Paris, we were very happy to learn about the best practices of our partners on seniors association generation and the Muslim University, whereas in Athens, it was the chance of all the Greek partners to show and get a hands-on experience of the practices that they have in their organization. Some images, some memories for our meetings in Paris, in Athens. And as I said before, we had meetings, partner meetings in order to draft the next steps. Of course, the project was developed in the second wave of COVID, so we had a mix of digital, and physical meetings. And we hope we made a good project and would like to share the results with you. Yeah, and I thank you very much for being here. Now I would like to pass the floor to the project partners to present their own best practices. I would like to call as per agenda, meeting agenda, the first organization that would be Association Generations from Bulgaria. So the floor is yours.
Hello, good afternoon from me. So I will make this presentation a short overview of some good examples, approaches, tools, manuals, etc. Collecting here shortly our experience as organization we gathered in the last 10 years while working for adult learners. Just in one word, who we are. We are an NGO located in Sofia, and our organization was established especially to serve the elderly people, like training provider organization, like organization who trains caregivers, for example, or coaches or job advisors, educators, etc. The focus in these presentations I put on the digital literacy of the elderly people because more or less this was the main, so a red line in our GO project too. Working like this, we learn, and you will learn about the world of the old people, what kind of learners they are, about their digital literacy, how they are reacting on it, how the businesses are reacting, about their needs, what kind of approaches we use to reach them. And that's the experience we had to build on this experience by developing further manuals, tools, approaches. Shortly, I will present them here. So, for example, the smart houses devices like a Wallabot home designed to be placed on the bathroom, let's say, on the bathroom walls and scans constantly for movement. If it detects a fall, it immediately calls your trusted contact. You know automatic reminders to take medicine, automated lighting, etc. There are also smart speakers, voice-activated virtual assistants such as Amazon's Alexa. All those devices are very helpful to seniors living alone, both as a tool, but also as a digital companion. But what is behind this? I'm speaking here about ambient assisted living. This is an European policy, and as we age, our homes, for example, can become dangerous places, especially if we live alone or have, let's say, health problems. Fear of falling or being unable to carry out daily routines are often driving factors behind the decision to move out of a much loved home into an assisted living facility, let's say the nursing home. And this ambient assisted living concept is not only an issue of technological research, it is also a rapidly growing economic sector creating new jobs. It is here about job curricula and job profiles we developed within an international project consortium. We created European training guidelines in AAL professions for web providers. In the frame of this international consortium, this curriculum was based on the principles of EasyVet for the job roles of ambient assisted living specialists in order to create, to manage, to moderate social networks. And the idea behind was to extend the time people by increasing their autonomy, their confidence, mobility, security. So these ambient assisted living professionals are very needed on the job market. Practitioners who know how to incorporate, how to install, how to use these new high-tech devices are very needed and interesting for the job market. How to develop systems that help seniors and people with special care needs live more independent and safer lives, because currently there are rare specific further vocational training courses in the European countries, show our researches, which are related to the use of development of AIL systems and tools. So on this basis, a compendium of 5 ambient assisted living European specialist profiles, job profiles, has been defined, and they enriched our organizational portfolio. They were AIL community manager, AIL consultant, AIL maintenance specialist, solutions and system developer, system architect, and so on. So it might be interesting for those of you who are working in the field of the vocational training, the formal education, trying to draw the picture of a potential ambient assisted living labor market. We indicated several job sectors along the professions, AIL professions. Core job sectors are considered to be, for example, AIL caregiving, that is responsible for medical issues. AIL solution or service developer, that is in charge of developing products and supplying the market with them. AIL network provider that offers and maintain the communication infrastructure. It is important for these who are working in the field of vocational education trainings to develop job curriculum in this sector, because AIL helps elderly individuals to remain healthy and to sustain their functional capability. But also they are supporting caregivers, supporting families, they're supporting care organizations, and not last, they are supporting aging societies as our societies by using the resources of the old generation. So I'm stressing here on the future development of job profiles in this field, ambient assisted living, because it will be the future. I mean, by this elderly generations prevailing on the job market nowadays, you know. So a next good practices we have was the diversity management training curriculum we developed. It is a training concept in the frame of another European project about intergenerational practices. There might be an endless list of factors that could open and widen the gap between generations. Before giving a short overview of the intergenerational diversity management course units, I will just mention a research made by the Association of Human Development Potentials in industry, and in this research they fixed 4 main types of generations. The focus here is on how to deal with them when we have old people as learners. What to have in mind by developing trainings, for example, non-formal, informal, or whatever. The first generation, not anymore on the job market, minimum, is the generation of traditionalists. They are working to survive. They are loyal, responsible, self-disciplined, often refers to the past. They are conservative, but they are skeptical of training. The generations of the growth, the next one, those who are born in the 50s and 60s, they like to work and achieve. They're ready to learn if there is a direct benefit of it. They work, for them, the work is above all. The next generation, the children of the transition, those who are born in the 70s, they work to live well. They're flexible, pragmatic, adaptable, they invest in their own development, and they strive to achieve high quality of life and well-being through a prestigious career, for example. They invest in training that ensures a fast development. The children of the millennium, born in the 80s and the 90s, they work to be fun. For them, the work has to be fun. They are mobile, pragmatic. Constant learning is a way of life for them. They're ready to learn a few professions. They want to work in an environment that they like. So having this in mind, out in the research is that what concerns the workforce, the old generation nowadays on the marketplace, people 50 and 60 plus, they have to work minimum 10 years more than they expected. And the research also shows that 30% of the respondents believe that the older generation should release jobs for the young generation. And for managers, companies, organizations to work in teams with significant difference of the team from 22 to 65 years, it is very difficult. There are differences in thinking, differences in education, knowledge, skills. All this can cause conflicts, can lead to low work efficiency, to poor communication, poor work environment. So having in mind these researches and state-of-the-art reports we did, we developed a course called Intergenerational Learning or Diversity Management, which consists different modules on intergenerational learning and how, why it is important, how are generations different, what are the benefits.
Fred, we cannot hear you.
Me too.
Do you hear me now?
Yes, great. I think that I also did not hear the previous slide, so please.
Previous slide. I'm here having an overview of the content of this intergenerational training course called Diversity Management. It is about intergenerational learning and why it is important, how the generations are different, what are the benefits for the different stakeholders, about challenges to intergenerational learning and how to overcome them, about problems and conflicts that may arise, how can we address the challenges, module about learning from the workforce. We have been asked here to develop especially this module because we are providing soft skills trainings in the field of management. So it is about how to deal, let's say, the 25 young manager with the 65 old worker at the same work environment. And it is about mentoring and coaching, overview of the learning on the workforce and critical situations in training, conflict resolutions, and much more. It was a very interesting training course, and I would mention here and stress here on the fact that, for example, in Spain, in Granada at the university, this course was very good evaluated and was part of the training of students. They get credit of it, and it was a big success with this course. In the UK, they have a great experience in these matters. But for example, if although this course could be part of many management curriculum, in the field of businesses here, we could not find in Bulgaria any significant activities. Very pity. So our next topic is the elderly woman. I am not here stressing on the difference between elderly men and elderly. Shows that the elderly woman have more difficulties to find job to the very last stage in their life, being on the marketplace still. So we developed a project called the Woman Project, and it arises from the necessity to develop new approaches on the construction of professional competence of women at risk of social inclusion. It aims to improve qualification, also the access to the job market, focusing into target group, migrant and refugee women on the one side, and on the other side, the elderly women, 45 plus, who are women unemployed or long-term unemployed, or women over 45 years old with low levels of education. The project developed a lot of materials, tools to improve methods to acquire and recognize skills and to create more opportunities to integrate into the labor market. And the best result of it, the good practice I here would like to stress on, is the learning platform, specifically for elderly women at risk of social inclusion, but especially all women looking for job, but also for the professionals like us working with them. So recent research show that soft skills become as important as professional skills when you are looking for job and are participating in a job interview, for example. So we also developed an effective curriculum for evaluation of skills and competencies based on the EU guidelines for validation and recognition. This will allow further opportunities for practitioners, for example. You know, personnel of household services, hotels, restaurants, and caterings, I mean the HoReCa business, but also other businesses too. They use women like this, elderly women, without any job contracts, for example. And we are striving here with these materials developed to ensure better integration of these women that do this job without official professional qualification. They don't have any diploma, but with a lot of experience they possess competencies and transversal skills, like, for example, intercultural communication, integrity, attention and listening ability, interest, passion, empathy, trust, for example, etc., which is very important too. Women in that situation often need to develop these soft skills in order to reduce the effect of double discrimination as women and as their condition of non-employability, immigration, origin. But for example, the point is here on the age, you know, the discrimination in the labor market what concerns the elderly woman. So we developed a practical tool too, a handbook with exercises that are also tailor-made for trainers to be used when conducting such a training for this exactly very difficult target group. So, because we are also seeking to bring this comprehensive approach as we know the process of recognition and validation through ECVET, for example, and DICPAVET tools, and how to implement it in that special situation. The platform includes an interactive tool called soft skill self-evaluation tool. It is about, let's say, your soft important for entering the job market. But today there are no specific formally evaluate them and recognize their value. So we have here in the platform 47 questions, which are covering 8 measure. Having this tool, you measure your communication skills, teamwork, flexibility, adaptability, problem solving, interpersonal skills, organizational skills, negotiation, and decision-making skills. All transversal skills, all important transversal skills, we find out having a lot of interviews with the business that are very important, having being part of the international diversity business team, for example. You make through this e-tool a measurement of your competencies. It's a self-assessment tool. It takes only a few minutes, and you will know your level of competence in these fields I mentioned here in the slide. You have to be absolutely honest to yourself because you're actually evaluating yourself. You will then receive the results and you will see what to upgrade according to the scores you will have from 1 to 10. Having this picture, you then will know that you have to upgrade, let's say, your teamwork or your communication skills. And then you will find in this platform, this e-learning platform, every material you would not like to read, to learn in order to upgrade your transversal skills. So a lot of interesting things, but I would like proposal further. Constantino, do you hear me?
Okay, we will go to next presentation. That will be the turn of Saradu. Let me share again my screen. Very interesting presentations on the wide variety of topics, both from education generation. Please mute your microphone. Thank you. Please. Okay, thank you very much. So let me share my screen now. So good practices for all people on behalf of Charledu. Here are a few words about Charledu. We are an NGO based in Athens and focusing on game-based solutions for education and inclusion. Here is a very short overview of our projects, current projects aiming in to all age people are 65 years old. So, and let's jump on to our best practices. The best practices that will be presented have one main dimension in common, is the design of games for vulnerable groups, and in our case, old age people. We implement the open living lab methodology, meaning that we co-create our games not only for the target group we would like to cooperate with, but also with them. They are involved in the whole design process from the initiation of the idea until the final product after testing it and evaluating. And also this by itself, we believe that it is an action of inclusion. So we will jump into the first case study to be introduced. It is the mystery in the nursing home. In short, they are intergenerational escape rooms located in nursing homes. What inspired us to create this program? It was we researched on innovative intergenerational activities. You may all be aware of nursing homes being in the same building with kindergartens. So both generations are happy. And also in some countries abroad, nursing homes offer free youth accommodation for young people. And older and younger generations live together and spend their time together. And also, for us in Charity, games are for sure a very nice and effective educational tool because we learn by playing. We are involved personally in the whole learner process in a voluntary and fun way. And also, learners tend to experiment and participate more when they are introduced to games. So also the escape rooms nowadays are very popular means of entertainment, and also they are used to encourage students of primary or secondary schools to visit specific facilities not so popular, such as museums or libraries. So, welcome to Mr. in the Nursing Home, a national action in Greece, totally funded by Tima Foundation. What were our objectives? As I said before, I'm sorry, I would like to create a very enjoyable intergenerational activity between all people, residents of nursing home and school students. With this idea, I would like also to improve in a meaningful way the free time of all age people in these facilities, and to fight any stigma about old age people, especially those living in these facilities. Also, with the memories workshops that I will in short present later, we retrieve memories of old people and transform them in mystery games and more specifically escape rooms. So the ideas that we created were based on memories and interests of old age people. And while implementing this activity, we believe that we added some color to nursing homes and facilities, and we created a very fun and intergenerational activity. And somehow we try to fight the stigma of people living in these facilities. What are the main target groups? Apart from all these people residing in nursing homes, for sure, as I said before, students of primary or secondary school, for sure all the professionals that are working in such a facility, such as health professionals, social workers, psychologists, and also the educators, the teachers of these students that are coming and to play with old age people. In general, the caregivers of old people, and also associations of and foundations of that are involved in caregiving in general. So this project was divided in 10 steps or actions. For sure, we started to prepare ourselves on how to implement the memories workshops in which we discussed with all these people about their interests or memories, and on how we could take all this material that they offered in order to transform it into a game, and then implemented these workshops. We co-designed with all these people the mystery games. We trained our staff, then our facilitators and animators, on how they could implement an escape room, and train them to be game masters, in other words, and we trained the residents that they were willing to take part in escape rooms, to act as actors, and also some staff that was willing to do so, in order to animate the escape room. We organize the students' visit and implement them afterwards, and then we're documenting the whole project in videos, and we also drafted a guide that I will present shortly afterwards, and we had to present, of course, the results achieved. So what we created in cooperations with 4 nursing homes in Athens, the Καλοσαμαρίτης, Παναγία Ελεούσα, Μερόπιο Ίδρυμα και Κοινωνική Μερίνο Στράτου, we created 4 stories that were inspired by our discussions with the residents of the nursing home. They had to choose within a variety of topics you can see, their family, their patients, trips that they have been, fairy tales, and other topics, schools, friendships, love, and so on. As I said before, we documented our whole experience and implementation guide. Unfortunately, it will be only available in Greek. That documents each of one of the 10 states. For example, here you can see a page on how to organize an ice-breaking activity to get to know the residents of a nursing home that you would like to work towards creating an escape room. But also for the rest of activities, there are detailed steps time approximately that these activities should take place, and other interesting information about the facilitator of these activities. Our tangible results, apart from the escape rooms, it was the participation of around 140 old people as facilitators themselves, and also in the creation of the games. We had 1,600 students that actually visited the nursing homes and played escape rooms. And also, this could not have been achieved without the help of their teachers, around 100 teachers that came with. I'm sorry, could you mute your phone, your microphone? Thank you. And around 100 hours of memory collection workshops that where all these memories were transformed into games, and 150 hours of actual play. So, I'm sorry, could you mute your microphone, please? Thank you. Some memories of these workshops, some photos. You can see the real action between all these generations. And if you would like to see more information, unfortunately, this video is in Greek. You could just check our little testimonial video released on YouTube. Now we move to the second part of game creation, the bridge game jams that took place in Chalkida in Athens, Greece, about 4 or 5 years ago, and during which we created games for and with people with dementia. So these events mainly aim to raise awareness about dementia, apart from creating the games. As we said before, we see the co-creation workshops as events of manifesting the needs of these target groups, and intergenerational interaction between people with dementia and the youth in general, and of course the creation of games. The participants of the events were people with dementia or in general people, their caregivers, either professional or not, youth as volunteers, as students of relevant disciplines, or young professionals such as game designers. And a very draft agenda of the event was on day one. Participants other than people with dementia get to know the specific needs of our main target group. And then day 2 and day 3 are 2 days of full interaction with people with dementia. We come together, we play, we observe the needs and the actions of people with dementia. We extract memories, interests, and create game prototypes, which are later developed the rest of the day and tested by people with dementia and get their feedback. These are the results of the Chalkida Game Jam. As you can see, all our participants were fully happy about this event. And a very short overview of the games. I will not be that extensive since we have been a little bit ahead of time. But you can find all these game prototypes inside the website. And also co-organized the event in Athens as well. We had far more participants at that time, more new game ideas, but a similar effect and impact on our target groups. Here are the games created during the Bridge Game Jam in Athens. You may find some of these prototypes, as I said before, also on our website. Many games, as you can see, some were board games, some were digital, thanks to game developers who were volunteers. And a very, very short overview of the Bridge Erasmus project. Bridge Game Jams were developed and continued their life, as I may put it, in an Erasmus project, coordinated by the Pan-Hellenic Federation of Alzheimer's Disease in Greece, and our lovely partners from Italy, Anin and Solo, the Association Rehabilitation Romania, and apart from us, the University of Western Macedonia in Greece. Oh, sorry. What is more, apart from games? We'll create a methodological guide to help anyone interested in developing games on the needs of people with dementia, on how to implement these co-creation workshops, and on how to reach the target groups for these workshops, and what, let's say, a symptom of dementia could be, or skills of people with dementia could be maintained through the use of games. Of course, we have implemented co-creation game workshops, and this resulted to 8 fully working games this time. Digital games are available on Google Play, and digital and board games available on Bridge Project Bros website, but also on Challenge's website, ready for you to print and play with your beneficiaries or people with dementia, family members or relatives or friends. And also in the course, accumulating all the previous knowledge of the project, dementia symptoms, on how to organize the games, how to play the games, how to design the games, and all of these materials available to Bridge website for you to check. And thank you very much. If you have any questions, we'll have a Q&A session at the end, or you can email me directly my email. Thank you very much. So we can move now to our next presentation. That would be, we go to France now, and the floor is to the seniors to present their best practice. Hello.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for listening to us. I'm going to share my screen right now for the French presentation. Should be okay now. Okay, first of all, I would like to speak about my own organization, who is eSenior. We are a French organization from Paris. We are the association is a not-profit organization founded in 2005, and we are our objectives are to fight against exclusion. The main objectives are to reduce the digital gap between the different generations, mainly in France and in Paris, and to overcome seniors' isolation and social exclusion. You will see with the project that I'm gonna present you that it is one thing important for us, and this is the topic of the project I will show you. And finally, to facilitate the access to some training and information thanks to some ICT classes. So about the ICT classes, as you know, we are working on European projects, but we are also providing ICT classes all over Paris. It is the main goal of the association, and when the association was founded, it was by our actual director, Monique Epstein. It was the only mission of the association at this moment. So thanks to these ICT classes, we can provide some computer courses for all levels, from beginner to advanced, on different tools like computers, smartphones, tablets. And we are also, since a few years, providing some e-administration lessons to help the seniors, the French senior citizens, to register online or to make their administrative documents online, because as you know, in many countries, European countries, we have to make the administrative tasks directly on the computer, and many lady stars are not aware of this or don't know how to deal with it. So as I just told you, we are working on several European projects according to different fundings, like Erasmus+, like the Gold project actually, but also on the Horizon project, IT Health, or even IT Food. We'll have here some example of projects. Okay, now I can speak about the two projects that I will present you as well as the practices of active aging with organizations. The first one is called the healthy loneliness project with the Erasmus Plus project has the GOG project. We actually, it is soon finished. It will be finished in February. So next month, it is a 3 years project with, so almost done. And we are working with some partners from Spain, France, itself, Poland, Portugal, and the last partner from Spain, as you can see on the screen. This is a project coordinated by a Spanish partner from the University of Valencia. About the project itself, the aim of the project is to develop and validate some learning programs who are adapted to the needs of the senior citizen and the older people living in a situation of loneliness. The goal of this project is to provide them some ICT skills and competencies to minimize the negative effect on the mental and physical health of their situation, of their potential situation of loneliness. And thanks to this project, we were able to develop some results, like the development of training materials that I will show you just after, the development of practical training activities, the creation of a platform, e-learning platform, healthy loneliness, and the validation of the training program thanks to the test, and the implementation of this platform. As you can see here, an example of the training materials that we developed. So it is in French because we translated in each of our languages. We developed some content for the senior directly, how to recognize the potential situation of loneliness, how to prevent it. We developed also some training content for we call it community. It is the relatives or families, friends of the seniors. And finally, for the healthcare people, we developed a third guide to help them, to recognize a loneliness situation and to prevent it, or to deal with it, to try to fix it, to try to stop it. Then we developed some practical training activities according to systematic, like ICT classes or even some outside activities. The picture on the right was what we call a digital treasure hunt in Paris, was a good way to socialize senior between themselves and even with young people in the street of Paris, and also for the physical well-being by walking outside. And then the platform is coming soon. In the next week, it will be ready and available online. So if you want to visit it to have a look, don't hesitate. You can write us to have, I think you have here it. You can visit the social media of the project or the website, and also directly on our own website, eSenior. I will finish with a second project on some close thematics, like the GOG project. This is the SOS Creativity project, with a project for the seniors online security for creativity, to develop the creativity online for the senior. About the objectives of the project, concretely, I will not spend too much time on this slide, but the project aims at developing skills and competencies to support the creativity among the senior citizen in a kind of non-formal education to reinforce cross-sectorial cooperation. As you know, with the aging population, the ICT is quite developed actually in our society, and the senior can be late on this topic, especially when it is about culture or even online security. So the aims of this project are to make the senior aware of the possibilities and to train them also on these possibilities again. We are a consortium of 8 partners with a Spanish coordinator again. As you can see, there are 2 Spanish partners. We are also with partners from Belgium, Poland, Italy, and Republic of North Macedonia. So 8 partners is quite a lot for a project, but it helps to have more exchanges and more possibilities, development in different language also. About the timeline of this project and the result more specifically, we started by developing a platform to implement all research work and also the concrete results. For example, the IO2 mapping of cultural and creative resources was the collection of many cultural opportunities that we added and uploaded on the platform actually, with some self-assessment tool also. Then last year we developed what we call IO3, was the SOS creativity content development of training material. So it was for the part of the training, like training seniors on topics like cybersecurity, social media, to make them aware of the possibilities they have thanks to the digital tools, but also to be able to defend themselves online or to know about the different social media who exist, and many other topics that I invite you to see by yourself by visiting our website. And then this project is just finishing next month in February 23, and it is finishing by the validation, the test of the platform and the training content by some target group representatives from each country. You can visit the platform if you're interested. You've got the QR code right here on the website. You can write to us if you want more information, or visit the senior website to find all the information. I hope it was glad and that was interesting. Don't hesitate to contact us, and thanks a lot for your attention. Thank you.
Of good practices, and now we jump back to Greece, and I would like to call our colleagues from Hadiso to present also their best practices.
Hello, is it okay that I turn off my camera?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Is it on a slideshow? Okay. Moment. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Zoe Smakopoulou. I'm a psychologist. I work at Frodis Association and specifically at the Home Intervention Program for people with dementia and their caregivers. Before I go on to present the Home Intervention Program as a gold practice for all people, I would like to say a few words for Frodiso. Frodiso is a corporation for the structure and the care of elderly people and disabled people. It's a non-profit organization. It was established in Patras in 2009 from healthcare professionals and volunteers that operate within the field of mental health, social work, and the elder care. So basically, we run a daycare center. We have a memory support office. We have the home intervention program, which you're going to hear today. And we also offer caregiver training seminars. Our vision is to create a society that is more friendly and more aware towards the elderly and the people with dementia and their families, to create an open dialogue and to support them as best they can through the diagnosis, support the caregivers, and give them a voice due to their difficult task. Now, the home intervention program, the main aims of the program is to implement treatment programs for people diagnosed with dementia who are in the initial, usually mild cognitive impairment, intermediate, or more advanced stages of the disease. When we say interventions, we mean mental and physical empowerment to motivate participants and maintain their communication and mobility skills. We inform, we educate, and we support psychologically the relatives of people with dementia. I can't highlight enough how important is the third aim, due to the fact that caring for someone that has a dementia diagnosis is very hard. It's something that needs training, psychological support, and I think it's very important that it's one of the ingredients of the home intervention program.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but if you have moved to a next slide, we cannot see your screen. We cannot see your screen in full screen mode. So.
Oh, okay, sorry. Just a moment. So you still see my first, what can you see now?
To the second slide, but not in full screen mode.
You just see it on the second. Okay, now can you see the second one?
Okay, yes.
It's just, it's not on...
full screen, so even it's full screen.
Ah, okay. Just a moment. I had it on full screen. I don't know why.
Προβολή, full screen. Okay, great.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, and I was saying that yeah, education is very important, and from education, of course, we're going to the training of caregivers on the practical issues of caring for people with dementia. What are the underpinnings and what are the difficulties that someone faces due to the diagnosis? So you can see better. Okay, so we have had 200 participants, 7,000 home visits, and usually we have 3 visits per week per participant for 6 months. Okay, the program is funded with the generous support of charitable foundation TIMA, non-profit organization Desmos, Levedis Foundation, as well as Stavros Niarchos Foundation Culture Center. So to go a bit more on detail, the Dementia Home Intervention Program is a 6-month holistic intervention which supports individuals with mild cognitive impairment, as I said, dementia, and their families. We have mental and physical empowerment. We train and provide counseling for caregivers about dementia's reality and ways to discharge them from the burden of care. Nursing counseling services are also provided to caregivers, and we have the aim of training them in issues such as the safety of the patient in their living space. At this point, I would like to say that when my coworkers and I usually go to a house, we see that sometimes it's not well organized for someone that is an elderly or whether they have a diagnosis of dementia or not. So organizing their living space is a crucial part. Maintaining hygiene, of course, and prevention of bed sores and other things. What are the selected criteria? So we have the socioeconomic status and the order of priority. I would say that we give more weight on the order of priority, although we always try to give the opportunity to all of the people that apply. And if they don't, if they're not able to join one circle, we make sure that they join the second circle or another circle after that. As I said before, it's an educational program so that caregivers can continue providing care at the end of the intervention. So basically, it's important that what we teach them, they are able to do it after the 6 months. So we're not focusing just on the here and now, but also in the long run, we give them strategies and tools to help them tackle the whole process of caring for someone with dementia. We have an interdisciplinary team, a psychologist, a social worker, a physiotherapist, and a nurse. More specifically, the objectives of the intervention are to enhance the functionality of people with dementia. So that really has to do with the level of the states, of dementia that they have. So we try to create exercises and interventions that are specifically targeted for the stage that people are, to empower, of course, their cognitive abilities, whether it is memory, speech, writing, attention. Socialization is also very important. And why is that? We know that when people are in the more like advanced stages of their diagnosis, or generally like elderly people, they tend to be a bit isolated. So we think that the fact that families have someone that goes there every week, not just someone, actually 3 professionals, is very important, because they have someone to socialize with, to share their worries, to ask questions about what they're dealing with. So socializing is, a crucial part of the program. I've mentioned it before, support and training of family caregivers, improving the quality of life. I would say that is more of the outcome of the intervention. And the last one is creating fruitful and stable relationship within the family. For example, we know that certain families, because they don't really understand exactly the characteristics of having such a diagnosis, the diagnosis of dementia, they don't understand the symptoms. So sometimes tension happens. They don't know how to handle, for example, someone that might be a bit more, I don't know, like changing their personality, basically, because that's also like a symptom that we see in dementia. They can't really differentiate between the personality and the disease. And what we're trying to explain to them is that it's the disease that speaks, and it's not the person themselves. So they shouldn't basically try to take offense, or they should try to understand better the symptoms so that they can make sense of them. And we've seen that after the intervention, like the relationships are better and tension tends to decrease as we move forward. Again, the intervention services, more specifically when it comes to mental empowerment for dementia, we enhance functionality, empowerment of cognitive impairments, empowerment of cognitive functions. Another part is quite important is the time and space orientation. Every week when we visit them, we try, even to the people that are more in a more advanced stage, to actually orient them in time and space with questions, with events that happen in everyday life, when it comes to Christmas, for example, or when we go towards spring and summer or Easter. And of course, again, we see an improvement in quality of life and functionality, hopefully. Okay, another example of mental empowerment exercises, which are simple and they can be done with paper and pencil. We ask a simple question, such as, I was so thirsty that I ate a toast. Is this a right or a wrong question? This is a very basic example of what mental empowerment exercise could entail. I would like to highlight here that all the exercises are personalized. We explore their interest. We try to see what fits best, because there's no one size fits all mode in the home intervention program. Creative activities for everyone, but usually for more advanced stages. Again, we have personalization of the patient, so we try to discuss a bit at the beginning in the first sessions, like what do they like? Do they like drawing? Do they like singing? What are their interests, or what were their interests in the past, and what could they do now? It definitely creates positive feelings. You see that they're more. We see that they're more motivated personally, and we also improve communication, specifically for the ones that cognitively are not so able to communicate otherwise. Examples of creative activities: we can do play with cards, we draw, we paint, we sing. Again, we can do sequence exercises. As I said before, we might say the months and then the days in the season, and create like a playful situation. Now, physical strengthening for dementia. We improve their executive skills, improved gait, mobility, very important, because lots of times elderly people might be too tired or too motivated, less motivated, to actually move. Maybe they they don't feel like going out, or they just prefer to be at home. We see that very often. But the fact that someone goes there every week and gives them the opportunity to do exercises and to improve their mobility control, I think it's very important. And of course, as an outcome, we see blood and oxygen supply to the brain, because physical exercise is important for everybody, never mind someone that is in a more advanced age, and it really can make a difference. So I would like to finish by giving a short testimonial from someone that was a participant, sorry, of the home intervention program, is a caregiver. And that lady said that now I understand what a person with dementia goes through, and I can manage my guilt knowing I'm doing the best I can. I think it really sums up the goal of the project, which is definitely to discharge the burden of family caregivers, which is a full-time job. And it definitely gives the opportunity for someone to feel that they're more accepted in the care that they give, and that they are not alone in their very difficult task. So thank you very much. Thank you.
For presenting these home interventions. These such practices, I believe, that are very crucial for people with dementia. And it's always good to remember that they are needed. So we will go to our next presenter. That would be the reading for others, with the presentation of therapeutic readings. So the stage is yours. Rafaela, you might be muted. We cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Great, yeah.
Okay,
Thank
you. So, hello everyone, I'm Rafaela. I am a member of the team of Reading to the Others, and I will make a presentation of one of the good practices that we have developed, which is the therapeutical live readings. First of all, I will say some things about us. Reading to the Others is a certified body by the Hellenic Copyright Organization for the production and the distribution of audiobooks for the visually impaired people. Our vision is everyone can read The House of Sleep, Foucault's Serpentulum, or any book they want and desire. And our mission is the equal access to knowledge, learning, and books for visually impaired people and other vulnerable social groups. We have three actions. First of all, we record the audiobooks. Second, we have the live readings for the elderly in senior care units. And thirdly, we have multisensory awareness workshops at school, companies, or to other groups. So, I will start the presentation of therapeutical live readings. Therapeutical live readings is a project which starts 2016, and until now we have managed to read live at 25 care units at Athens, 4 in Chania, and 5 in Heraklion. We have a big number of participants, 3,500 old people, and more than 500 volunteers. The frequency of live readings was 1 day of the week in each care home for 5 years. Therapeutical live readings is a project with a lot of benefits, not only for the elderly people, but also for volunteers. First of all, reading books to the elderly has a stress relieving and therapeutic effect, as it recognizes and enhances significantly the inherent mental abilities of the elderly. Also, it develops communicative skills, the empathy, the interaction of the participants among the groups. Thirdly, develops the sense of schedule and personal wellness. And also it promotes social interaction between the elderly and younger generations. In order therapeutical real-time reading to start, there is a procedure. First of all, we train the volunteers who will be participated at therapeutical readings. And the training is very serious because, to be more specific, we train volunteers in groups of 10 people in a 4-hour seminars on subjects such as psychology of the elderly by psychologists and social workers, aims and purposes of therapeutic readings by psychologists again and social workers that we have in our team, and also reading workshops on how to read text in front of audiences, how to read and how to communicate. The last seminar is a seminar that is organized by an actor that we have in our team. In total, we have 9 preparation seminars until the time that the volunteer will go to the care unit and will start the therapeutical real-time reading.
Rafaela, can you hear me? We cannot see your slide changing. We only see the first slide you shared with us. I'm sorry to interrupt. Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you see?
No, the same.
Okay, wait.
You can stop sharing your screen and restart again, maybe. Great. I think, yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. Is it better now?
Great. Thank you.
Okay. So after the training, the volunteers are ready to go to the care units and start the therapeutical real-time readings. For each retirement home, we need 2 or 3 volunteers to be there. And we have a psychologist that give advices to our volunteers when we have therapeutical real-time readings. Until now, we have a collaboration with more than 500 volunteers, especially 375 volunteers at Athens, 60 volunteers at Hania, and 75 volunteers at Heraklion. COVID-19 was the biggest challenge that we had to overcome. First of all, we had to stop the meetings on the care unit, so we had to find a new solution so that the therapeutical real-time readings to be continued. We had a lot of Zoom meetings with our volunteers and our team, and so we decided to find a new way, and the new way was online therapeutical readings. But it was a little difficult because we had to explain the social workers at the care units how to use Zoom platform, how to make a connection. But in the end, we managed it, and we didn't stop for a long time the therapeutical real-time readings. So this was our presentation. Thank you for your time. If you want to find more information, you can you can visit our Facebook page, Instagram page, or our website.
Thank you very much. Indeed, COVID-19 was a challenge for each organization of all of us dealing with such a vulnerable group, but all of us have found ways to come back again, and I have activities for them. And now our last presentation, I would like to invite University of Michigan and Vanessa Huppert, who will present us the dementia best practice. Vanessa, the floor is yours.
Yes, one moment. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, just to be sure, put it also in full screen in order
Yes.
not to have. Great, thank you.
So now it should be on full screen.
Perfect, thank you.
Perfect. So hi, I'm Vanessa, and I'm a student assistant in the Department of Human Movement Science at the Institute of Sport Science at the University in Münster in Germany. And our department executes many projects concerning physical activity in old age to improve physical health and mental health. And I want to present you one project which is called Actimencia. And it is an online learning training platform for seniors and people with cognitive impairments. And I want just shortly to give you some general information about the project and focus on the demonstration of the platform so that you have a better imagination what it's about. And what is Actimencia about? It's, as I already said, an online training platform for people with mild cognitive impairments or incipient dementia and their caregivers. And the primary target group are the formal or informal caregivers and relevant professionals in context with the seniors. And its aim is to develop basic skills on physical exercising and activity for formal or informal caregivers to promote well-being of the dementia patients, but also of the caregivers themselves. And it's an important tool to prevent excessive stress and burnout, because we all know that caregivers have a very stressful job, and physical activity can help to get along with the stress and is a great offset to the normal daily routine. The main objective of the project is to develop an interactive training platform based on videos to bring physical activity and exercises into caregivers and care receivers' daily routine. So the idea is that physical activity becomes an integral part of everyday life. On the one side, to promote health and physical performance and to keep the capabilities, the physical capabilities of the seniors. And on the other side, there's a big social and relationship component, so that the caregivers and care receivers also have some fun together, and physical activity can be a great bond between them. The platform is divided into 3 different parts that are dances, exergames, and lessons. And I will present you the single components. So the dances, in the dances you can choose between aerobic dances, partner dances, and moves. And there are different difficulty levels, and you can do it as long as you like. So if you don't have so much coordination, you can just do one video, or you can go along as you like. And as you see on the picture, there are avatars which do the movements and you just imitate them. Yes, and you can also do it in pairs, in groups, or alone. Then we have the exergames. That is a combination of exercising and gaming. And on the platform, we have videos which show an avatar on a ski slope, and you imitate the movements of the avatar. Then we have physical activity lessons. On the platform, there are 8 different lessons, which last at approximately half an hour. And they include a variety of exercises, for example, aerobic exercises and exercises for upper body, lower body, balance, coordination, and group exercises. It's recommended to always do the warm-up, which takes 11 minutes to prevent from injuries. And you can choose if you want to do it with or without additional material like a ball or a rubber band. And the videos are taken from another project, which is called Whole. You can also visit the Whole website, and there you can find some more lessons. Here's an overview of all our partners. Some of them are also in the Go project, like Frodiso and Association Generations. But there's also Pleneu, EGREPA, Wohlfahrtswerk Baden-Württemberg, Berufsförderungsinstitut, and the Wingate College of Israel. And now I will just switch my screen to show you the website. One moment. Can you see the website?
Mhm.
Excuse me?
See the website on your screen.
Yes, you can see. You can see.
Thank you. So if you want to explore the platform, you can just go on the link actimensia.org. If you want to have some background information, you can click on Actimensia website. There you can find some of our outputs, background information, and information about the partners. So the platform is free and you can, everyone can access it. You can click on start the exercises and then choose if you want to do dances, exergames, or lessons. And I will just present you some dances. And for example, we want to do aerobic dances. Then you can choose which difficulty level you want to do. I don't know if you can hear the sound. But,
Yeah.
so you can see that the avatar just does very simple movements, and the caregivers and the seniors can do it, can imitate the movements. If it's not so clear for the seniors what the movements should be, the caregiver can explain it. And all videos are about 2 to 3 minutes. And if you want to do some more, you can just click on next exercise. And then the next video starts. Yeah, that was just a small introduction into the Actimensia platform, and feel free to explore it by yourself and to recommend it to other caregivers if you know some. It's a great tool to bring physical activity into the daily routine. Now I will give back to Konstantina.
I think that we have finished the round of presentations of our best practices. And now we could, if you'd like, if you have some questions, you could send them in chat or just open your mic and ask us anything you would like. We have a lot of time reserved, actually. Okay, as you can see in the chat, we would like to ask you if you can complete the participant survey. Thank you very much for being here, for your time, and we'll wait for a little bit. You can find all of partners' contacts on our website. You can find that and maybe come back to us and ask anything you would like to have. And also the video of our webinar will be uploaded soon on YouTube, so stay tuned on Gold's a Facebook page to learn about the results. The video, I'm sorry. If we don't have any question, I cannot see. We have one question for Actimensia actually from Emma Larsen. Are these exercises validated? Vanessa, could you?
I guess it's meant if the exercises are validated to be safe for the seniors. Am I right?
I suppose yes.
Yes, they are all validated, and we have much experience with safe exercises for seniors. Of course, it should always be adapted to the individual situation of the seniors, and caregivers should always have an eye if it's safe. So if it exceeds the capabilities, but in general, they are safe.
Great, thank you. Let's see if we have any other question to accommodate. Another question for you or associations, of course. Is there also live teaching for dance exercises, etc.?
And now we don't have live teaching, but I guess maybe Association Generation can also tell something about it.
Simona,
Oh.
okay.
Hi, and also from me till now, I only heard so interesting cases. Thank you very much again to all colleagues presented us all these cases. Yes, Actimentia and Whole were actually two of most interesting projects in which we have been involved till now, more than 10 years work. So the all exercises and all products of both projects are evaluated and were designed and prepared by excellent experts from Musa University and from colleagues from Israel also. One university, colleagues to the university in Israel. As I know from Michael Brach, who was the coordinator of the whole project, unfortunately, the big platform with all these more than 300 exercises is no more existing because they were some kind of technical problems at the university online training platform. I don't know, probably Vanessa can say something about it. I think it is possible to upload some of the exercises from the YouTube in case you get the links. I think they were links with this exercise and you can use them. That's what I can say about this project and what is it now. I cannot hear you. I cannot hear anything.
Thank you for the answer. I think that if you don't have any other questions to accommodate, we can stop this webinar now. Thank you very much for being here, to all of the partners, but also to the rest of the participants. It was very nice in meeting you, and we hope that we will have possibilities to implement many best practices or create new ideas about best practices in the near future. Thank you all for your time and have a nice afternoon.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you very much.
Bye bye. Bye.
Thank you.